I'm Catherine Martin, founder of QuietTime Ministries. Every day, I have the privilege of meeting alone with the one who actually created me, who made the world. His name is Jesus, and He is King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and this is my quiet time. Have you experienced a time where it seems as if that difficult thing could happen? It actually did, and you almost feel as though everything is against you? Well, I have a great verse for you to encourage you with a new and different view in the midst of your difficulties. David, the man after God's own heart, who became king over God's people, often wrote prayers and praises to the Lord. Oh, how he loved the Lord. And there's one prayer in particular that is so very interesting because he writes it from the third person, as though he is telling God about the thankfulness and rejoicing of someone else. And you know how it is. You've heard children do it with their parents. Like my niece may say, Aunt Catherine, Kayla really loves you. And somehow when a heart is expressed that way, it adds a special power to the words. That's what David does in Psalm 21. He talks with God about the king. And the king he is speaking of is none other than himself. He begins the psalm with some affirmations about what the king will do, and then he shares what God has done for him. So I want to look at Psalm 21, verses 1 to 4, and then I want to focus on verse 3. Listen to these words. O Lord, the king rejoices in your strength. How great is his joy in the victories you give. You have granted him the desire of his heart and have not withheld the request of his lips. You welcomed him with rich blessings and placed a crown of pure gold on his head. He asked you for life and you gave it to him, length of days forever and ever. And I want to focus on verse 3. You welcomed him with rich blessings and placed a crown of pure gold on his head. Oh, how I love this verse for us this week. It's really a promise for us that God will meet us with the blessings of good things. It's one thing to know this promise, but quite another to believe it and act on it. As I have been studying faith, I have come to realize that faith is not a feeling, but an action based on the truth of God and His Word. You can trust what God says, so regardless of how you feel, in spite of how your emotions may fluctuate, you can act on what God promises in His Word. This is especially important if you are walking through a valley similar to David's. Everything was against him. Nothing was working. So here he is, taking the truths he knows to be true and speaking them out loud to God. And thankfully, he wrote them in a psalm for us to see and learn from today. I suggest that we all take a lesson from David. Think about everything you know to be true about God and all that He promises. Ask Him to show you something beautiful from Him in your day, a true blessing from the Lord. Then give praise. Talk with your God. Say it out loud to the Lord and try doing it in the third person. Oh Lord, thank you that you have promised to provide for Catherine today. Thank you that you cause all things to work together for good for her because she is called according to your purpose. Thank you that you promise to be with Catherine and that she never needs to fear. Thank you that you promise to help her, Lord. Oh, how great and glorious and kind and compassionate you are. Your mercies are new every morning and great is your faithfulness. Thank you, Lord, for the beauty you reveal to Catherine each day. I could go on and on. I think you get it. Dear friend, no matter what you face today, look for the blessing from God, something for which you are thankful. It may be as simple and profound as the beauty of a blue sky, or the flower you noticed at the side of the road, or the smile from a stranger. Remember Psalm 21 verse 3 today and say, thank you, Lord, for meeting me with blessings of good things. Thank you, Lord, for showing us your many blessings this day. And that's my quiet time for this week. God bless you as you continue on in the great adventure of knowing Him.